Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news. Today, the 27th of March in the year 2025. Let's now take a look at the headlines. Zambia's food basket still high despite 50 kwacha drop, says JCTR. Annual inflation slows down by 3% from 16.8 to 16.5%. Police attach identity to EMMASDALE bent body. In sports, French football star KYLIAN MBAPPE comes face to face with his double. Join us for these and many more stories after the break. With the Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, says the cost of living in Lusaka remains high, especially the basic needs and nutrition basket for March 2025 is standing at 11,546 kwacha, 87 ingwe, for a family of 5. JCTR Executive Director Father Daniel Mwamba Mutale says while this marks a slight reduction of 52 kwacha, 25 ingwe from February, the broader trend continues to show a steady increase in household expenses, pushing basic necessities further out of reach for many Zambians. According to JCTR, non-food costs have driven much of the recent increase, rising to 6,451 kwacha, 27 ingwe, from 6,321 kwacha, 87 ingwe in February, necessitated by a spike in the sharp rise in charcoal prices, now at 562 kwacha, 50 ingwe per 90 kg bag, up from 477 kwacha. Meanwhile, food prices saw a modest decline, dropping to 5,095 kwacha, 59 ingwe, from 5,277 kwacha, 25 ingwe the previous month.
The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection in Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, BNNB, for March 2025 stands at 11,546, 87 ingwe for a family of 5 in Lusaka. Although this figure represents a marginal reduction of a meager 52 kwacha, 25 ingwe compared to last month, February, it still shows that the overall cost of living remains high and is increasing beyond affordability of a dignified life, particularly for the poor and marginalized. The March 2025 BNNB findings for Lusaka, when compared to the same period, that is March 2024 BNNB for Lusaka, which was 10,701, 13 ingwe, clearly shows an increasing trend in the cost of living. The changes in the total March 2025 BNNB for Lusaka shows several price fluctuations in basic food and essential non-food items. The total cost of essential non-food items increased to 6,451.27 ingwe from 6,321.87 ingwe in February 2025. This rise was largely due to an increase in the price of charcoal, which has now reached 562.50 ingwe per 90 kg bag.
Annual inflation for March has dropped to 16.5% from 16.8% recorded in February 2025. Zambia Statistics Agency says the slowdown implies that, on average, prices of goods and services increased by 16.5% between March 2024 and March 2025. Acting Statistician General Sheila Mdenda says the decrease is attributed to price movements of selected food items. She says of the overall 16.5% annual inflation, Lusaka province contributed the highest at 5 percentage points, followed by Copperbelt, which contributed 3.8 percentage points.
2024, the gross domestic product estimates show that the economy grew by 8.6% from 7.8% in the fourth quarter of 2023. This represents an increase of 0.8% growth compared to the same quarter in 2023. And these estimates are based on the year-on-year comparison of GDP at constant 2010 prices. In terms of the industry contribution to the growth rate of 8.6% reported for the fourth quarter, we see that information and communication contributed 3.9%, mining and quarrying 2.1%, agriculture, forestry and fisheries 1.1%. And these are part of those that have shown the positive growth. And in terms of negative growth, we'll see that there's negative growth to the overall from electricity supply at negative 0.9%, administrative and support service activities at negative 0.1%, and the same percent for other service activities, which is negative 0.1%. When we look at the fourth quarter 2024 GDP value added at current prices, we see that the highest growth rates in the fourth quarter were recorded in the wholesale and retail trade, mining and quarrying, transport and storage at those percentages. These are the
Chief Government Spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa has defended the stipulated proposed constitutional amendments. Speaking at a media briefing, Mr. Mwetwa says the outlined amendments by the Minister of Justice in Parliament yesterday highlight important aspects of the Constitution that need to be amended before the 2026 elections. He says it is unfortunate that sections of society have misinterpreted Article 68(2)(b), which states that there shall not be more than 8 nominated members of Parliament. He argues that the proposed amendment is meant to increase the number of appointed MPs, unlike social media sessions, that it is a move to shield President Hichilema.
But the number of nominated is remained static. Therefore, to maintain this balance, when you increase this number also increases proportionately to the percentage of the increase on the elected seats. The net effect, therefore, is zero in real terms. For those who are saying President HH is a dictator, he wants to bring more MPs, he will appoint. No. There is nothing like that. The net effect is zero. It's like you have 2 baskets here. One has 20 mangoes, the other one has 4 mangoes. Then you, on this basket which has 20 mangoes, you add 6 mangoes, it becomes 26. On this one which has 4 mangoes, you can't add the same. You have to add maybe just 1, which is proportional to that increase. That is what we are talking about. So that discussion which is being promoted to say President HH wants to increase the numbers, firstly, that is a misplaced kind of view, because President HH is not the proponent of this particular item. And two, that in the event that the citizens of this country agree to this amendment, then it has to be had in mind that this increase has to be proportionate to the increase in terms of number of seats that are elective in Parliament.
Parish priest of St. Peter's Anglican Parish, Robert Suhuwa, has condemned men who are defiling children, stating that from a biblical perspective, this act is wicked and must not be tolerated. He adds that anyone who encourages such behavior should be held accountable, and the law must take its course against those misleading society and men who are gullible enough to harm their own children and those of others.
The first thing is that from the Bible point of view, the act itself is wicked. The act itself is wicked. So it cannot be justified as a biblical matter, because it's an evil act and the act must not be tolerated at all. So anybody who says it is a spiritual matter, unless they justify it's a demonic matter, and a demonic matter should not be entertained. That's why we cast out demons, because demons are destructive. They are not building. They just simply come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And therefore, this must be condemned in the strongest terms possible. Secondly, we want to appeal to the law enforcement officers. Anybody caught in such vices, no matter how misguided they are, the law must take its course. And whoever guided them in that direction must also be taken up, and the law must take a course for them that are misleading society, and men that will be gullible enough to believe people who would make them destroy their own children or destroy other people's children. So that is important. But from our side as a church, we need to continue our process of discipleship and training people in the church to understand what is the true biblical position on all matters.
The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency has destroyed over 5,350 non-compliant electrical products in Lusaka, valued at 3,900 kwacha and 15 ngwe. Agency Communications Manager Brian Hachoka says the destruction exercise is aimed at protecting consumers from unsafe electrical products as provided for under Section 16(4)(b) of the Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017. He says the products destroyed were withdrawn from within Lusaka markets from February 11th, 2025 to February 14, 2025, following the violation of relevant compulsory standards, thereby posing risks to public safety.
And 5,300 non-compliant electrical products which were seized in Lusaka at the value of 439,000 kwacha 900. This exercise is aimed at protecting consumers from unsafe electrical products on the market, such as this one, in line with the Compulsory Standards Act, Section 16(4)(b) of the Act, Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017. These products were withdrawn from the market in Lusaka as part of enforcement actions conducted from February 11 to February 14 for violating relevant compulsory standards, thereby posing risks to public safety. The open market surveillance inspections covered major trading hubs, retail outlets, and importers along Cairo Road, Chachacha Road, and Kafue Roads. Others, in terms of the areas we covered, include Westgate Mall, Makeni, and Kamwara trading areas in Lusaka. The agency has noted with concern through its market surveillance inspections conducted across the country that electrical products, especially adapters, sockets, and extension cables, are among the non-compliant products on the market. The potential risks that these products proposed include personal injury, electric shock, fire, and damage to property.
Ministry of Defence has assured the British High Commissioner that the 2026 general elections will be held in a free, fair and peaceful manner, and government is committed to upholding the democratic tenets which the country is well known for. Minister of Defence Mr. Ambrose Lufuma has thanked the British government for the support it is offering to a Kenneth Kaunda Peace Training Centre. Mr. Lufuma said the support Britain gives Zambia in capacity building of troops is vital as the country contributes soldiers to many peacekeeping operations around the world. Meanwhile, the British government has commended Zambia for the role it plays in maintaining peace and security in the Southern African Region Development Community (SADC) region. The United Party for National Development (UPND) has commended the government for providing a clear roadmap on the proposed constitutional amendments, dismissing earlier public speculation regarding the review of certain clauses. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, UPND Presidential Support System Media Team Director General Frank Walia noted that the proposed amendments are in the best interest of Zambians and that President Hakainde Hichilema means well for the citizens. He welcomed progressive provisions within the proposed amendments, including the requirement for ministers to vacate office 90 days before elections.
A situation where Zambians have seen clearly that President Hakainde Hichilema means well. He meant well when he called for the amendment of our current constitution. When PF, before 2021, wanted to amend the constitution, many people believed that they meant well. The UPND believed that PF meant well until after that draft Bill 10 was produced. That's when UPND, that's when civil society, the church, Zambians realized that PF did not mean well, because they sneaked in clauses that were not discussed in Siavonga, clauses where there was no consensus. And at that time, there was no time to continue building consensus.
We as GEARS, we are interested in having the minister present to us the areas of concern. And if we are not going to be happy with the areas that are going to be brought for an amendment, we will be the first ones as GEARS again to rise and say we did not want this. We wanted the constitutional amendment, but not what you're bringing. I must indicate, ladies and gentlemen, that finally the proposals that have come are proposals that are extremely progressive, as we have always wanted. We were, as an organization, saying if we go ahead and have constitutional amendment, the areas that we want to be addressed.
Police has successfully identified a male victim whose burnt body was discovered in a Toyota Corolla in Lusaka's EMMASDALE area on March 11, 2025. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga says thorough investigations, including a post-mortem examination and forensic analysis of DNA samples, the victim has been identified as Wilson Kumwenda. He says this follows forensic analysis of DNA samples from Forge Kumwenda and Grace Kumwenda, alleged biological siblings of the deceased, which revealed the two individuals cannot be excluded from being biological relatives of the deceased, leading to the confirmation of the victim's identity.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to provide an update on the murder case reported on the 11th of March 2025 at 2010 hours by Mr. Issa Ahmed, age 27, of Villa Elizabeth, Lusaka. The case involved an identified male victim who was found burnt beyond recognition in a Toyota Corolla bearing registration number ACX 6276 in EMMASDALE area along Nsembe Road Street off Mbwembwerelo Road. A postmortem examination was conducted on the 15th of March 2025, and forensic expert collected DNA samples for identification purposes from the alleged biological siblings of the deceased, namely Forch Kumwenda and Miss Grace Kumwenda. Following forensic analysis, it has been determined that the two individuals cannot be excluded from being biological relatives of the deceased, who has now been positively identified as Mr. Wilson Kumwenda. In light of the confirmation, the remains of the deceased will be released to the family for burial. The Zambia Police Service extends its deepest condolences to the bereaved family and assures the public that investigations into this heinous crime remain active. We urge members of the public with any relevant information that may assist in bringing the perpetrators to justice to come forward and report the nearest police station.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to developing climate resilient water security, prioritizing national interest above all else. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Engineer Collins Nzovu, says government is considering various interventions, including the Luapula Kafue Water Transfer Project, which aims to transfer water from the Luapula River to the Kafue River. He says the project is still in its infancy phase and has not yet undergone comprehensive assessments of social, economic, environmental, and financial factors. The minister says government is equally reviewing the 1995 to 2015 National Water Resources Master Plan with the assistance of cooperating partners. The Media Liaison Committee, MLC, has cautioned political parties against interfering with media freedoms, warning that journalists will not hesitate to take collective action against those who undermine their rights. This follows the arrest of Hope Joma, a Mazabuka-based journalist, in what the media fraternity has condemned as abuse of power. Ms. Choma, who works for a local radio station, was detained over allegations arising from her professional duties. She, however, was released on police bond yesterday after pressure from journalists and media stakeholders. In a statement availed to Camnet News, Media Liaison Committee Acting Chairperson Felista Chipako says cases involving journalists should be handled by the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, rather than the police, emphasizing that her arrest was unnecessary.
The Media Liaison Committee applauds journalists in Mazabuka district for refusing to cover the event where the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development and Area Member of Parliament, Honorable Garen Kombo, was scheduled to officiate to protest against the arrest of Hope Joma. We are happy to note that Mr. Joma was released on police bond and that the Mazabuka Press Club has met Southern Province Police Commissioner Mr. Oxensio Daka, who was assured further investigations. The team also met the local United Party for National Development, UPND leadership, which included Honorable Kombo, to demand for the unconditional withdrawal of the case against Mr. Joma. We take this opportunity to reiterate calls for the protection of journalists in the course of duty and urge any person having challenges to use legal procedures to address their concerns. The journalist who operates under a radio station should have had this case handled by the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, instead of the police, because the allegations happened in the course of duty. We should also want to take this opportunity to remind journalists that the statutory self-regulatory framework being advocated by the Media Liaison Committee is meant to protect them from such abuses. As we head towards elections, there will be need for all political parties to caution their members to treat every journalist with respect, restraint, and dignity. In future, the type of protests by the Fourth Estate in Mazabuka will be extended to political parties that would not respect the rights of the media. As a united front, we stand ready to protect the welfare of journalists regardless of the media they represent.
Taxi drivers in Mongo have called for the cancellation of Yango operations in the district, citing low taxi fares on the car-hailing company system. Speaking at Limulunga Royal Palace, Wamundila Nganga says operations of Yango in the district has affected businesses for taxis in the town. Wamundila explains that youths in the district depend on taxis as a source of income, as the district has little to no industries. Wamundila has appealed to government to intervene in the matter to ensure the non-exploitation of drivers. Details in this report.
Some taxi drivers in Mungu have voiced a strong opposition to the introduction of the Yango transport, citing concern that it will lower fares and negatively impact their businesses. The drivers took their grievances to the Barroso Royal establishment, demanding that Yango should be removed from the district. They claim that Mungu is not yet developed enough to accommodate such a service. Speaking at Munga Royal Palace, Wamundila stated that the introduction of Yango will limit business opportunities for local taxi drivers, as the area lacks industries to support the service.
Chwali luitumela meno president echechi yalutsa zorupiri ya mikwakwa lwaitumela hulu mikwakwa yakala kwiza harabu dino lusinande mikwakwa kono chwali wa disturb kiyango akuna kukumukolu yanga kimwaloko na mwapi kuna nilisha bati so yango etire yaluzieza lukupa kulikambe kintu ekona hala yango mwabulozi aruskai hana kono pili azati dawo zorupiri aita hakambi ayemenya yango akizorupiri mwabulozi kono kitoto bezo yabana babulozi aikata fa zorupiri nalukaitumela kulifoni mikwakwa ite inge falu na mikwakwa falu tameireli mota za batu berekani bona zikakala kungiwa kibanyi maspea pati atula kwa mota kuli yango enano ange mu 27 kwacha mafula 35 kwacha difisipali mota kuna sipia mota izo 27 kwacha mabulozi mwendi kwa rusaka kuna izo 27 kwa bulozi aruna chole kikupo yerukupa kumushema ona akaende chirema ni kwanu bamulende lwakupa vatensha balubone makulu bonera.
Other drivers echoed similar concerns, highlighting the poor road network in the area, which could further reduce their businesses.
Aluizifa akuna mikoti kwanu ndi moto zalitusisa kwanu za watu balwenga join kwa yangu alukana anu hafa kufita kwa grave okwale kama kwa keshwile asikambwe njuka akalulukisa na kimani
kena kuli luna babancha aluna misebezi usepile mama taxi abato na moko na molplisa dabana baluna ukubesa mane kwa likolo haitile yango kutoma alusashenga luna yango alwilati kakuli business yalo na kwanu kiye nyani luna ma taxi driver lupilera na fale misebezi keminyani so lukupa kuli balutwele kape aluna ma industry yalo kona kupilera yango yebatisize yale.
However, some Yango drivers have welcomed the introduction of the service, believing it will greatly benefit them.
Yango kiende huru kakuli ifumane akuli aninzifa moto wani booking anioya aniofita kwale kokumu hapa ifiti nako etelele ke banishimba ape kele ni yako kumsoko nakuli ibonisa kuli business yate ninzi fast rule ape kiende maso
kama distance mama hapo yaruna alubona fela kuli mwenji kona abasikaiza hande yango kuli baize hande mama Konaliona yangu batili kiende abanga teni kulikambe bachimbula kwa teni hainyani fela kwa teni kuli apeno na taxi driver lusikiro wabonala olukuli lwa wela mwa musima.
Musieko Kabila, Camnet News in Mungu District, Western Province.
Agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has urged government to ensure effective management of maize stocks and regulate private sector stakeholders, including grain dealers and export organizers. Dr. Bulaya believes that this is crucial in preventing household hunger and maintaining national food security. He also emphasizes the importance of farmers selling their crops to the food strategic reserve, which would help stabilize maize prices and prevent shortages.
Yes, we need to be cautious as a country where the expected yield, management is concerned. We understand as a country the challenges that we've passed in terms of low productivity levels, due to El Nino, and these are effects of climate change that are here to stay. And in terms of managing the anticipated yields in which are good in some parts of the country, though we still have some challenges in some other parts of the country in terms of a southern province and others that have experienced, still ravaging challenges of droughts. It is important that our stock, is managed extremely very well, and the government has to ensure that it manages, the private sector in terms of grain dealers and other related organizations that foster issues of exports, to ensure that exports of the commodities, especially maize, were managed to avert a situation of importations in the event of returning, some of these yields, expected yields of the commodity going back into exports, and I think it's not good for our country. So management of the stock is, something that should be looked at, extremely cautiously, by the government. And our call also to the smallholder farmers is spinach.
A consortium of civil society organizations has raised concern over what it describes as a missed opportunity by the government to introduce a provision allowing for the appointment of ministers from outside Parliament in the proposed constitutional amendments. In a statement available to Camnet News, the Consortium of Civil Society on Governance noted that this reform, which was part of the United Party for National Development (UPND) manifesto, has been widely supported by Zambians but remains absent from the proposed amendments, a decision the consortium says will necessitate future constitutional reviews to address governance gaps.
We acknowledge and commend the government for publicly releasing the clauses it proposes to amend in the Constitution. This is a positive step in fostering transparency and inclusive debate, as discussions should now focus on the substance of these proposals. We recognize that approximately 75% of the proposed amendments reflect the will of the Zambian people as previously expressed. This is an encouraging development that aligns with the aspirations of citizens who have long advocated for constitutional reforms that strengthen democracy, governance, and institutional integrity. However, we are concerned that the administration of President Hakainde Hichilema is missing a crucial opportunity to introduce a provision allowing for the appointment of ministers from outside Parliament, which was part of the UPND manifestos when they were in opposition. The Zambian people have consistently and clearly voiced their support for this reform, yet it remains absent from the proposed amendments. This omission means that Zambia will inevitably have to revisit constitutional reforms in the near future to address this critical governance issue. Additionally, we believe that the proposed clause allowing members of parliament to return to councils undermines the principles of separation of powers. By permitting MPs who are part of the legislature to get back into local councils, which are institutions under the executive, the distinct roles of parliamentary oversight contained in Article 63(2) of the Constitution and the governance becomes blurred. This could result in MPs effectively providing oversight to themselves, weakening accountability mechanisms and disrupting the balance of power among the branches of government.
And that story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for sports news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms, Camnet TV, not just another channel.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Welcome back to the Camnet News Desk. Now in sports news. French and Real Madrid star Kylian MBAPPE made his wax double at home in the Spanish capital. The statue of the footballer wearing the French national team jersey and captain's bracelet is to be exhibited at London's Madame Tussauds Museum. The forward collaborated with a team of artists at Madame Tussauds for several months and was delighted with the results, which shows him posed with his arms crossed. The statue will arrive at Madame Tussauds Baker Street venue in London just before the arrival of the French star in the British capital. Real Madrid are to play Arsenal in the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals on April 8th. To commemorate the new attraction, Madame Tussauds is offering free entry to youngsters under 16 wearing Mbappe's official jersey from the 4th to the 21st April.
Hi guys, it's Kylian Mbappe. Come to see me in Madame Tussauds in London.
Oh, the new jersey, even the new boots?
Yeah. That's me.
French and Real Madrid star Kylian Mbappe meeting his double at his home in the Spanish capital. The wax statue of the footballer wearing the French national team jersey and captain's bracelet is to be exhibited at London's Madame Tussauds Museum.
It's a big honor. I want to say thanks to all the people who work on it, to be part of the project, because it's a big achievement for me, a big honor to be part of the big Madame Tussauds family, and I'm really happy. And even more when you see the results, it's amazing. I'm really proud to be here and to see this. So it's a big day for me.
The statue will arrive at Madame Tussauds Baker Street venue in London just before the arrival of the French star in the British capital. Real Madrid are to play Arsenal in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final on the 8th of April.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Zambia's food basket still high despite 50 kwacha drop, JCTR laments. Annual inflation slows down by 3% from 16.8% to 16.5%. Police attach identity to EMMASDALE burnt body. In sports, French football star KYLIAN MBAPPE comes face to face with his double. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day coming from the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 8. It reads, "And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins." That ends the reading and that ends the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.